Hi everyone, welcome to E-Commerce Success by At360, the channel that makes business owners happy, productive and successful. Today we're going to talk about a massive and very important subject, and that is SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. So that's the process of getting more highly ranked by search engines like Google, which is very important to get visitors on a website and to increase sales. SEO is one of the most powerful and important ways of bringing traffic to your website for the cheapest amount of money possible and with long-term results. So it's a complementary way of growing your business than advertising or social media. It all works together. So today I'm going to make an introduction to that topic for beginners, but I will also share a few tips and a few resources which might help you even if you're already familiar with the concept. So stay until the end of the video. I will share you and show you a few tools that you can use to evaluate where you stand and what can be improved about your business SEO. Before we do that, please smash the like button, put a comment below and subscribe to the channel. These actions are only going to take a moment for you, but they're going to make a massive difference for us. It's going to help us grow this channel, signal to YouTube that these videos bring value and are enjoyed by the public, and hence they will be more frequently shared by YouTube to new businesses that will be able to help this way. So thank you for doing that. This video is brought to you by At360. At360 is the easiest way to increase your sales in Shopify and other e-commerce systems by managing all your ads in one place and helping you set up all your marketing activities. And right now, since we just released the app on Shopify last week, we're providing a ton of free services, advice, consulting, free setup of your advertising accounts, and we can help you fix SEO, improve SEO on your websites if that's something that can help you. So if you're interested, contact me. There's a link in the description below to book a call and a demo of At360. Okay, now let's jump into the topics. So first, what is SEO? So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, okay? And it's the process of making your site better for search engines. So this is the definition by Google themselves. So this is the Search Central, and it's the best way to learn more about SEO from Google themselves. So Google is the biggest search engine out there. That's where the most people make search on a daily basis, and you have a fantastic source for traffic for your website this way. But you need to understand what is SEO, how it works, how to get ranked, how to get suggested to the right people. We're going to discuss all of that today. So let's start with the basics, right? So how search works. I'm not going to read everything or describe everything. I will put the links below if you want to go deeper on that topic. But just in a few words, how does it work? So before you get ranked, you actually need to be analyzed by Google, right? So you need to be noticed, right? So Google calls that crawling. So Google searches the web with automated program that they call crawlers. So they look at pages, new pages, updates in pages. So that's the first step. If Google doesn't know your page exists, they haven't found it, they haven't read it with their crawlers, they won't be able to rank it and show it to users when they make searches. So that's the very first step. It's super important. And if you haven't done that already, make sure that your website is actually indexed in Google. If it's not, it's most likely because it hasn't been crawled because you haven't done the necessary steps. So I'm going to show you how you can check that, verify that, and fix that issue very easily. So once your page is crawled, meaning Google knows it exists, and they're just aware that your page is out there, they've found it, then it's going to be indexed. So indexing is the process in which Google learns about your website by analyzing its content. So they're going to read the text, look at the images, the videos, and they try to understand what the page is about. So this information is stored within the Google index. So they're going to say, okay, your page is about travel, vacation, hotels. They're going to put you in some categories. They're going to try and understand what type of information you're providing to your visitors, what type of products you're selling, if any, what are these products, how they can rank them, index them, and that's the very important step where you can increase your quantity and quality of information on your website. This is going to help Google understand what your business does, and in return it's going to make it easier and more relevant for Google to serve you as a search result. That's the third and final step. So once Google has indexed your content, understands what you're about, then they're going to serve you when they see fit, right? So it's up to Google's algorithms. So they have a ton of content, billions of websites out there. Whenever someone is making a search, like finding a plumber near my house, they're going to look, okay, is this person looking for information, or they're looking for a plumber professional, or they're looking for services, or where do they live? So they use geolocation. They use a ton of parameters to decide what's the best results to show. I used this example on purpose. It's the same one that I talked about a few days ago when I made an article about local searches, how to tap into the local intent in searches, which is nearly half of searches today. If you want to learn more about that, I also put the link in the description below. And in this video, I also talk about geo-targeting and hyper-local advertising and how you can make ads that target specific areas. But let's leave that for another day to talk about in more details. So the results are going to be decided by Google based on what they understood of your content and how well it fits the search intent of the person as they understand it, right? And so this improving the number of times Google suggests your page or your website or your product as a response is a direct result of how well it has indexed your content. Okay, so it's super important to understand that, because if you're not really appearing frequently or highly ranked on search results, it's most likely because there is something you can do better about your website, and we're going to see how. So here are a few basic, so you see on the top there is navigation, just the basics. I will share this link, but you also have beginner and then advanced if you're more advanced. But these are just the basics of what you need to do on your website so that Google, when they crawl your web page, so then they look at, they find it and they look at it, then when they index, they analyze properly the content. So you need to use descriptive titles so that, you say what it is that you're doing, right? Some websites don't really have a descriptive title at all. So your title should include, not only your brand name, but also what it is that you do, right? It should be complete. So I love this sentence I highlighted. Google is smart, but we can't guess what you don't tell us. So I see a lot of websites these days which don't really give a lot of content on their website. They have maybe the product, so they have the product name, picture, the price, and a few features, but they don't really give a lot of information about what it is, why it's important, why you should buy it, why buy it from you and not your competitor. So whether you're selling a product or a service or just presenting your company on the website, you need to use a lot of information. Another thing I want to highlight is this use text. Even though images and videos are more and more important, they're more and more popular, they're more and more shared, text still matter. And because although Google can analyze any form of content, including images, videos, animations, Google, they say themselves, right? So this is not a criticism. This is Google saying themselves they don't understand as easily this form of content as text. So using images and videos and things like that is really nice, and it's really a plus, and it's step by step becoming a necessity if you want to get in the nice images results, video results in Google My Business results on Google Maps. So you need to have all this rich content, as we call it, but this is an addition. It's not a replacement for text. Like, you need to have text on your website. I see many businesses these days that have nice pictures, nice branding, but they don't have any text or barely any text on their website. You need to present what it is that you do, why you do it, how you do it, why you do it in a better way than your competitors. And as a nice example, I made a video a few days ago about a business selling mugs and some jewels and some products for the house. And we saw in the video some examples of some mugs, right? And if you sell a mug just saying, okay, it's a mug, you're not going to sell it. But on some of these products, they said, the mug said, like, I don't remember exactly actually, but the mug said something like a good morning, sunshine, something like that, right? And so if you say, okay, having this mug on your desk is going to give you a smile, it's going to make your day better, you're going to be, like a more productive, happy, because you have endorphins in your brain because you saw that nice sentence on your mug. And good mood is communicative to people around you, to your family, co-workers, even people on Zoom. If you're smiling, it's going to help everybody feel better about themselves. All of that are additional reasons why people should buy the mug, right? It helps building trust and a closer relationship with people, which is good for conversions, and it's also good for search engine optimization. It gives a lot of text so that when people type on Google, nice mug, with a funny sentence, or with a nice mug that puts a smile on my face. I'm sure there are many searches like that. If you have these words on your website, you're going to show up as a result. If you don't have this text on your website, there's no chance your mug shows up, right? We can do like a live test. If I type, like a mug that puts a smile on my face, you have about 200 million results. Sorry, I blanked for a second. I was shocked. I was like, is this right? Yeah, you have 200 million results for this mug that puts a smile on my face. It's a very specific request. You see, if you have just a mug with an image of your mug, the price of your mug, you're not going to sell it for this type of research, right? So before you can sell, you just need to be, as I said, you need to be indexed, and then you need to be served as a result, and then people can find you and buy your product, right? So if you don't use any text, any content on your website, not only you cannot be served, so people cannot purchase your mug, right? So, okay, just was like a funny experiment. I didn't prepare that beforehand, just like a live experiment to see, to make a point. Okay, now let's look at some more advanced documents. So you have the SEO Starter Guide. So how to increase your SEO. So how to be more frequently served as a search response result, and how to be more highly ranked. Because the truth of the matter is, the more highly you're ranked, the more traffic you're going to generate on your website. And that's exponential, right? The first results, the first like 2-3 results, and the first page in general are going to have massively more traffic than, the second page, third page, fourth page. So it's night and day, right? So you want to get as highly ranked as possible. So I talked about adding a lot of text, but that's not the only thing you can do. Actually, SEO is a multi-factor issue. So you need to take a number of different aspects in mind. So there's the content, which I talked about, and text and images and things like that. But you also have the site content and structure. So site maps, making sure every page is discoverable, and there's no technical bug when trying to load up the page. You have, so technical things like, making sure all the pages are correctly hosted. There's no error. There's no like JavaScript library that bugs, that slows down the website, things like that. You have the content, which is what I discussed before, but content is not just text. It's also images. These are reviews from users. It can be a map on your website if you have a local business showing, what area you serve. It can be a lot of different things. Then you have a business development campaign. So this is advertising. This is what Ad360 can help you do. In addition to the other services I mentioned, the Ad360 app helps you manage all your campaigns in one place, including Google, but also Facebook, also ads on independent websites, millions of websites out there, and mobile apps. And by the way, Ad360 is a Google partner. So we've been certified partner under the new program requirements of 2022, which are more strict. So we're super proud to be a Google partner, helping people get started with Google, improve their results on Google, get more sales from Google ads campaigns. Okay, then keyword research. So if you don't know what you should say on your website, what content you should add, keyword research is a way to see what people are looking for. So here I made a research, like a random research like that. But if you do smiley mug, I'm sure you're going to have a lot more results. Now, actually, I'm very surprised. Only 10 million results compared to the 200 million that I had before. So you see, depending on what you're searching, you have more or less results. So keywords. So this tells me that you should maybe put more content. Maybe let's try something like daddy mug, something like that. So here you also have 10 million results, right? I thought it would be more, So this is interesting, and you have a ton of tools out there. Neil Patel's Ubersuggest is really good. You have SEMrush, you have other tools like that, and you have the Google tools as well that help you make keyword research to know what people are looking for. So you know what products are trending, what products people are in demand for. This can help you inform your product choices, but also how you present your product, what you should say about your products. Okay, so let's move on. So how to get started with all of that? Because I know SEO can sound like a daunting subject because it's very vast. There are a lot of moving parts and it changes frequently, but don't worry. As I said, I'll put all these links in the description, and the Google Search Console is here to help you. It's really well done. You have a lot of things to help you get started. I'll show you at the end. So you have a list. I recommend you start with the Getting Started for Beginners guide, and you have a list of things to do step by step. Sign up for Search Console, add and verify ownership of your site, read the guide of basic usage, and then learn some of the basics, right? So there's really a step-by-step guide, and this Search Console tool from Google, so it's a Google tool, it's really necessary and it's very helpful and it's very well made, so it will be easier to understand. Still, if you need any help, if you need guidance, feedback, advice on how to get started, how to set things up, or in more advanced topics like how to improve the content, I'd be happy to give you a free consulting session. So there's the link in the description to book a call. Okay, let's back here. So if there's one thing that you should try today, so if you're not sure if it's the first time you heard about SEO or you heard it before but you weren't very familiar, you don't really know if your website is well ranked or not, the absolute one thing you must do today is make sure your website is ranked, is actually crawled. So that was the first step. Remember, if it's not crawled, it can't be indexed and it can't be served as a search result. So to do that, it's super simple. You go to Google, you type site, semicolon, and then your website name. So let's try here. You have site, semicolon, wikipedia.org, and we can see that the website is served. There's a response. Let me show you what happens if it's not the case. So I'm using yesterday's website as an example. It's not to blame you because, as I said yesterday, if you're listening to me, the website owner, I love your website. I think the design is actually very nice, very clean. So you did a great job. I love the website design, but you absolutely must fix this problem. Your website is not crawled, is not indexed on Google. So if I type, so I take, like the domain name like this. I did earlier to test, but I type site. Let me do it again. Site, semicolon, I'll do it again, should I? Site, semicolon, and I paste this, I search, you see, you have no results. So this means your website is not indexed. It's not crawled even. So, and see Google denies, they say try Google Search Console. So you have to do this and follow the few steps. If you do that, it's going to make a massive difference because this means that in addition to advertising to bring people, Google will start bringing people for free to your website. So you have to take advantage of that. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. SEO is like a long-term process that yields a lot of benefits, but long-term. So it's not going to replace ads in the short term if you're relying on that to bring a lot of traffic to your website. But it's an absolute must. And it's the best thing you can do for your website today is make sure it's indexed on Google. The next thing you can do is use some of the tools. For example, you have this. This is also a Google Power tool. So Page Speed Insights. You can check how your website is doing. So there's a score of performance, which can be red, orange, or green. And again, I'm sharing this simply to help you. There's no shame in having done that ourselves. We had a very poor score a few months ago, and then we worked on our SEO and we improved the rank of our website, and now it's very good for desktop, and even on mobile I think we can do a bit better. But so it's not to shame you at all. You have a very nice website, much better than most businesses out there that share their website on Reddit. But so if I'm showing you this tool, it's because I want to help you, and this tool also tells you what's the problem. So you see, they give you like the hierarchy of problems that you can fix. And the number one problem is that your images are not in the next gen format, as I say. So they're very heavy, so they take a lot of time to load. So you see here, the first few seconds when we load your website, there's nothing that appears. And that's why maybe a lot of people, they click on your ads, they go on your website, but since it takes some time to load, they leave even before they can see anything. And this is very frustrating. That could explain why you have a lower than average conversion rate. That could explain a higher than average bounce rate. So I really suggest you look through these, and if you need any help fixing stuff on your website, I'd be more than happy to help. And here you have some other tools where they tell you, some things that you can fix. And you can also use the Google Inspect on Google Chrome if you're using the browser, and you can analyze. You have performance here, you have a lighthouse, you have different stuff that help you analyze. But again, this is more advanced stuff. If you don't really need what to do, the only thing I wanted to show you is here. If you click on this button, this is a little tip. So if you do, let me show you again from the beginning. So I go to your website, I right click, I go to inspect, and here I have this. You can have it on the side or the bottom, but it's the same. You have this little button. Don't be afraid by the code if you're not technical, but just click on this little button here with the phone and the tablet. And here you can select devices. You can look how your website displays on a tablet or a phone. So you can see, for example, on a phone, it looks okay. It's actually very nice. Again, I really love your website, and I only wish to help you. So I'm really showing your website as an educational example, and hoping that you will fix this and that you will get a lot more customers and traffic on your website. If I look at iPad, I see there's a problem with this image. You see, so you can use this to identify, a problem. So here, this image doesn't load properly. So again, this is something we can help you fix if you want us to give you a hand. Okay. So finally, I showed this already, but I'll show it again. This is super important. This is in the Google Search Central resources. This website has a ton of resources. It's super helpful. You have the Getting Started guide. So the first thing is signing up for Search Console to make sure your website is crawled by Google and indexed and served as a result. And you have a few steps to do. Okay, so I wish this was helpful to you. I hope that you learned a lot of new things. And if you're more advanced, if everything I said was already known to you, no problem. This always, is good to have a refresher. Maybe you'll find some interesting things in the advanced SEO tab on the Google Search Console. And I will be making more videos on that topic because there's plenty more to say. This is a very important subject. And it changes very frequently, so you always need to be on top of the best practices at the moment. So I will be making probably a lot of videos on this topic. If you like this, please subscribe, put a like on the video. You can click the little notification icon if you want to get alerted whenever I post a new video. And if you want me to go through your website, give you a few tips, help you fix a few technical issues, there is a link in the description. You can book a free call. People nowadays are very worried, say, why do you do that? Why do you provide free services, free help? So let me be super transparent with you. This is our strategy to get our brand known. So at 360, we released recently a new app. We want to get more broadly known. We want to get our brand name out there. And we want to truly make people successful. Because if your website is successful, you bring more traffic, you have more sales, you will grow, your business will grow, and you'll have more needs for advanced tools like us, like ads retargeting, geo-targeting hyper-local ads that show ads in a very specific area, and managing all your ads in one place, like Google, Facebook, mobile app ads, online website ads, YouTube ads. So all of these can be managed in one place with our tool. So it's in our interest that you run a lot of ads and have a very successful business. Okay, so you will find the link in the description. I look forward to speaking with you and giving you a ton of help and value. Thank you. Have a good day. See you soon. Bye.